Well, since I decided to sleep through the first of the month, I decided that we needed to start off this year with something a little bit more relevant than usual. But since Labyrinth, the game only came out in Japan, I decided we might as well work with Deadpool. With the film only being a week or so out from me filming this, I figured it might be a good time to take a look at Deadpool's first solo adventure into video games. And I'm really curious, are we going to get the dark comedy, witty Deadpool that makes jokes like cutting someone's throat and telling you that what's the best way to kill a circus is to go for the juggler? Or are we going to get the lol memes and pancakes Deadpool?
Don't make me do this, please. Oh, baby, you're the only one for me.
She always looks so surprised to see us.
If this game had a shame meter, it'd be full right now.
It took the game all of 10 seconds to answer that. This is Deadpool.
So, let's see what's on the old boob tube.
We said boob.
Deadpool, branded as both hero and villain. Deadpool was once a badass mercenary named Wade Wilson. After being recruited into the Weapon X program, Wade was subjected to experiments that gave him awesome regenerative powers and drove him batshit crazy. Today, the merc with a mouth travels the globe in search of fortune and chimichangas.
Not that this kind of humor can't be funny, it just can't be revisited time and time again. The first time you'll get probably a pretty decent laugh out of it, but on the second or third showing, it really starts to show that it's not that great of a joke. The reason for that being is that the jokes in this game really don't make you take away anything from it. There's no substance to them. But I mean, that's just my personal take on it. I know people who have seen the fight from Family Guy with the chicken 6 or 7 times, and they still find that funny, and I never found that funny in the first place. So here's your warning going into this. Know that I don't find a lot of this game funny. In fact, I find some of it just flat out boring. So that will end up affecting how I feel this game is. And if you do find this game funny, then you probably will have a much different opinion than me on it. But that's enough of the talk about comedy. On to the main show! We find our hero where we find most highly paid assassins. A shithole apartment. Seriously? These guys make thousands of dollars doing what they do. All they can ever afford is an apartment with this shitty-ass leaky roof. And in Deadpool's hole, you can do Deadpool things like play with your dog. Make the sensor bar for your dog really, really big.
Much more realistic.
And even be opinionated on the internet.
Just like me.
But soon after Deadpool's game starts, he wants to be in his own game.
Oh, I love old
That he then goes and lives out.
We do too. This
So
game
wait.
isn't old.
Are we playing a game in which Deadpool knows from the start is a game, and that he's just following the script by asking for a game? Or is he doing this all in his normal life and just fantasizing all the game-related things? I'm gonna go with the second, because I'm just as confused as everyone else on what the hell is going on. After fighting our way through the heavily armed TV station, seriously, what is it with these guys? They've got turrets attached to helicopters. What TV station needs a turret attached to a helicopter?
Gonna need both hands to shoot that minigun.
Says who?
We come along on a nondescript fat cat of a TV station owner. And what do? Well, we bash his head into a window for a little while, and then ride him cowgirl style down into a giant jump house that we set up in the sewer. Now we find ourselves in the armpit of game design, a sewer level. It's so bad that the game even makes fun of it itself.
No more sewers, High Moon.
And no, that doesn't make it better. Really, the best thing this part of the game has going for it is the fact that there's a Ninja Turtles reference, which is at least kinda neat. By cutting our way through some generic baddies and even some upgraded ones, we've finally come to what are going to be the three main bosses of this game. Arclight, Blockbuster, and Vertigo.
Peter, my man, you see
And Deadpool calls it himself, D-list villains that work under Mr. Sinister, the big bad of the game. Though I really do beg the question, why did they kidnap the TV guy?
Peter, talk to my dick. Hey, where are you a-holes going?
But none to fear, as Deadpool comes armed with actually quite a great array of weaponry in this game. Your ever-trustworthy katanas are at your side, along with a nice pair of dual pistols. In fact, you do wield everything in this game. It doesn't matter if it's shotguns or hammers. Your hands aren't busy touching yourself, so you're going to wield something with them. And all of the non-grenade weapons have a decent little upgrade system. The upgrades can vary from a health upgrade to Deadpool to upgrading the damage on the hammers, which breaks out a lot of the tedium of this game because the increases in damage on any of the weapons is extremely noticeable. Oh yeah, this game has a story thing. After we have a boss fight with Arclight, we meet up with the one and only X-Bros.
Psylocke?
Actually, it's a really odd setup of the X-Bros, as it's a team being led by Wolverine, starring Rogue, Psylocke, and Domino. And most of you probably thinking to yourselves, well, who is Domino? Well, her most significant thing is that she's Deadpool's ex-girlfriend. Also, I think her mutant power might be that she's part Dalmatian. I'm really not sure. Through hilarity, we follow Mr. Sinister to Genosha, site of the largest holocaust of mutants ever to happen. Granted, we don't have to worry about that, because we've got Sentinel parts to play with. After a while of digging around with the natives, Cable shows up, and we manage to finally get some story going, and he keeps going, and going, and going, and telling us how important it is that we finish off Mr. Sinister, and going, and then we get to, honestly, the funniest part of this game.
Traveled from the future to bring you a dire warning about...
Oh god, here he goes again. He's not here 10 seconds before he starts boring us with his dire warning from the future crap. It's so boring. Make it stop.
Damn it, Wade!
Nah, I'm just kidding. There's still more game.
Number one fangirl is hot.
Next on Deadpool's quest for world peace, we come along the Geonosian prison, where we have to go and save Rogue. We also get to play a nice game of Spot That Mutant, because Mr. Sinister has decided to fill this prison with spliced copies of himself and other famous mutants. Like, look, there's the Blob mutant.
Stop dropping my camera, player. Thing was expensive. Now get...
And Marrow mutant. Seriously? Marrow? Out of anyone you could have picked, you picked Marrow? Alright, that one's a little bit more noticeable. There's a Gambit splice. I think he even shows up later in the game.
Rocket launcher in my
Also, this one might be Storm, but I don't know. I really don't care, because this guy's an asshole. You may have noticed I'm only lightly grazing through a lot of the levels and the story of this game. For one, that's because there is no story. This game literally has no point to it. Second, it's because this level layout is horrible. These are the most generic possible levels, which is kind of insulting when you think about it, in a game where at one point you have to platform off of the voices in your head's thought bubbles. With no relevance to story and no real level design to speak about that's any interesting, it leaves a lot of this just feeling super flat, and the graphics don't help things much either. But with all that being said, we finally hit the most interesting part of this game, where everything stops giving a fuck and goes balls out crazy.
That ride was fun.
Meet Death.
Can't help but
Death
wonder where
has a Lady Chimichanga for
You've
Deadpool.
done more than you
And
know.
because of that, she gets to bring about the most important part of this game. The inside workings of Deadpool's mind. And the inside of Deadpool's mind makes up these 3 small mini-levels
What happened?
that are about freeing spirits and putting them in
All I
these
got was this spirit
gemstones.
in a statue. What a gym.
And these are the most
Of course.
entertaining,
These must be the
thought-provoking,
spirits that are linked to the mutant
and
corpses
just fun
Sinister
parts of
attacked
this
down.
game.
No
Granted,
wonder it's
I
crazy.
use thought-provoking with a large bag of salt. The first gem I decided to take took me on a nice little boat ride, where I had to shoot at cardboard cutouts while on a little tugboat with a pirate hat. You see what I mean? This is what the whole game should be like. Just pure craziness. As we fight cardboard cutouts of doctors, and I think that's Wolverine over there. Yeah, that's Wolverine. More crazy clown people. Ah, these parts are good. The second section I took on is, honestly, just kind of a layout for Prince of Persia. The original one on the everything. I think it started on the Amiga, but whatever. And the last of the Deadpool mine levels ends off with a small beat-em-up section and a little game of Honey, I Shrunk the Deadpool. But if this is where this game has been leading, can't wait to see what's next.
Now we can be together. Forever!
Does this mean we're going to Eddie? Come on, we gotta get to Sinister
And we're
before the
back
X-Men do.
in
Don't want them
Genosha.
ruining our glorious.
Are you kidding me? We just had a blast with all these mindfuck levels, and you decided to bring us back to generic jungle? Which just begs me to ask this question. In a game about a psychotic, why is everything so safe? You guys had Deadpool, one of the craziest characters in comic books, and it feels like you just layered him on the topmost level of the game, and decided, well, this game's about Deadpool now. Literally, it feels like you guys had a game that you made for probably someone like Wolverine or something, and then decided, oh hey, we have this character who's going to be, you know, possibly doing a movie here in a little bit. Why don't we just erase Wolverine, add in a few little funny bits, and make 3 small little tidbits to him, and then here, we have a whole game dedicated to it. It feels lazy, and it feels like a waste of the character.
You know what, game? You don't care, then neither do I. Let's just skip ahead to the end of this game and see what comes about it. Of course, we have generic clones everywhere, and we have to fight a couple of waves of them. They're not really any problem, but it's just more fodder that's making this game last just a tiny bit longer.
I can say chimichanga in 7 languages.
After that, we get a boss rush mode. You know what? That doesn't sound too bad until you realize that this boss rush mode is all 3 bosses all at once. And you know what? Even that wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact that they countered everything you did. You finally get Blockbuster stunned? Well, that's nice. You can do damage to him, right? Nope, because Ultralight comes over and punches you across the screen, so you can't do shit to him. Well, then take out Ultralight, right? Well, if you do that, Blockbuster is just going to come over and powerbomb the shit out of you. The whole time, Vertigo's sitting up in her little goddamn corner, making everything blurry. You know, I'm just fucking tired of Vertigo. Dude, get rid of her.
But it's finally down to the end of the fights. It's you versus Mr. Sinister. And Mr. Sinister. And Mr. Sinister. That Mr. Sinister over there, he gives a defense boost. That Mr. Sinister over there, well, he's picking his nose for a little bit before he decides to come in and clusterfuck. This last fight's garbage. It's 3 waves of Mr. Sinisters. You're fighting up to 6 at a time. And they're just not fun to fight. They have health as much as any of the other high-level clones, but it's such a letdown. And then finally it's over. But hey, all we've killed is clones. What about the real Mr. Sinister? How in the hell am I supposed to know that's the real Mr. Sinister? Oh, go to hell, Cable.
Seriously, roll credits. We're done here.
If you want the gimmick of owning a solo Deadpool game, this game's for you. It's on 360, PS3. They just re-released it for Xbox One and PS4. If you actually want a good game, go find something else.
1,000,001? 1,000,002? Cough it up.